for giving me this opportunity to address this House as chief negotiator. I'd like to thank Mr. Jean-Claude Juncker for the trust he has placed in me. I'd like to thank all of you for the work that's already been done under the aegis of President Tajani in the political groups and committees. I'd like to thank Guy Verhofstadt and his team. Your work has been constructive and effective, and I'm sure it will continue to be so. Honourable members, your resolution will be the first political standpoint issued by a European Union institution to the letter addressed last week by Prime Minister Theresa May to the President of the European Council. That being the case, you set the tone as you address the British government, the EU 27 and the citizens of Europe. As for ourselves, we also understand there will be a message addressed to us. Our shared objective is a successful negotiation, a successful agreement, and that requires 3 conditions to be fulfilled, and let me run through them now. Firstly, as has been highlighted by Jean-Claude Juncker, we need unity. United, we can better defend the interests of the 27 EU member states and their citizens. And as the various presidents of political groups have said, we also defend the fundamental principles and values that the European Union, the European project has been based on since its very inception. Unity is necessary for the Union, but also for our partners in the UK. A disunited union could actually lead to there being no agreement, and it's important for us all to understand that. Philippe Lambert said earlier, no deal would have very serious consequences, first and foremost for the United Kingdom, but also for the European Union. Hence, let me say again, the no-deal scenario is not the scenario we're looking for. We're looking for success. Success not against the United Kingdom, but with the United Kingdom.
J'ai bien entendu Madame Helga.
And I very much heard the words of Helga Stevens and her appeal earlier this morning. This requires us to explain what we are doing and why we are doing it. We need to speak the truth to our citizens. We need to say impassively and objectively what Brexit means. What it means to be leaving the European Union. This negotiation must also have a pedagogical dimension. Day in, day out, we need to rediscover the achievements we have made together, because all too often we forget the benefits for citizens, consumers and businesses of what we've been doing. Our unity, honourable members, will be all the stronger if it is public unity. We intend to negotiate in a transparent fashion. These extraordinary negotiations are not going to be secret negotiations. The second condition, we have to dispel uncertainty. We need to spread certainty and legal certainty, because in certain respects the UK withdrawing from the EU creates uncertainty for the citizens, for the beneficiaries of EU spending and at the EU's borders. In your name, I will be defending clear principles. Continuity and the reciprocity of law. That is my guarantee to the citizens of the European Union and the United Kingdom, without discrimination until the day of withdrawal. And I very much heard Mr. Pitella on this subject. Theresa May's letter seeks a rapid agreement. But, honourable members, the devil is quite clearly going to be in the detail, and the 6 months of work done so far points to that. President Juncker has explained quite clearly that it will be the role of the European Parliament to be vigilant in this process. A single financial settlement as a result of the UK's commitments to the EU and the EU's commitments to the UK. There, your resolution is very clear. We do not seek to punish the United Kingdom. We are simply asking the United Kingdom to deliver on its commitments and undertakings as a member of the European Union. In fact, Mr. Farage, all we're doing is settling the accounts, no more and no less. And now to the borders, not least Ireland, to which Gabriele Zimmer pointed. We will have to find arrangements that don't upset the existing fragile balance in the dialogue, notably the Good Friday Agreement. And our solutions will have to be compatible, of course, with EU law.
Order and putting them into perspective. The UK letter makes clear that the UK government will push for parallel negotiations on the withdrawal and the future relations. This is a very risky approach. To succeed, we need, on the contrary, to devote the first phase of negotiations exclusively to reaching an agreement on the principles of the exit. We are not proposing this to be tactical or create difficulties for the UK. On the contrary, it is an essential condition to maximise our chances to reach an agreement together within 2 years, which is very short. This is also our best chance to build trust, as Manfred Weber mentioned very clearly, to build trust before proceeding to the second phase of negotiations. This second phase will be devoted to scoping our future relation and to discussing necessary transitory arrangements. To put it differently, the sooner we agree on the principles of an orderly withdrawal, the sooner we can prepare our future relation. In trade, obviously, a free and fair trade agreement, a level playing field, but also in security and defence. It is on the basis of these three conditions, unity, lifting uncertainty and phasing of negotiations, that we can succeed. And your resolution will set the tone. My hope is that the European Parliament makes these three conditions its own. Pour finir, mesdames et messieurs les
To conclude, honourable members of the European Parliament, Mr. President, let me say a few words about the work we're going to do together up until the end. Mr. Juncker has described our essential role right up until the end. We start with your resolution, and in 2 years' time we will have your vote on the withdrawal. And you will have, honourable members, the last word. It is in the European Parliament that the democratic debate underpinning this negotiation will take place. And this is not going to be a negotiation like any other. This debate will take place here and in the member states, and this debate is essential to make Brexit a success and to put in place successful arrangements for the future, arrangements which will have to be ratified by this Parliament and the parliaments of the member states. All the way we'll be working together. and it is therefore a pleasure to address you today. I'm glad to have had this opportunity to address you in the presence of President Juncker and the Maltese presidency. I look forward to continuing to work with President Tusk and the European Council on the eve of the extraordinary meeting of the 29th of April. I shall continue to work with you, your Conference of Presidents, your Conference of Committee Chairs, all of your political groups. I am here at your disposal, as is my team. Thank you very much indeed.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.